Good afternoon, everyone. Please confirm you can hear me. Good afternoon. Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon, Eunice. Yes, I can hear you.
Good afternoon. Awesome. Good afternoon. You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to have every one of you here this Sunday evening. I welcome you alongside all of my colleagues to this wonderful series. This is Education Learning Lab. And once again, it's a very big privilege to welcome you all. Just before we kick off, I'd like to, anyone who is available online, just put in your favorite emoji. Yeah, keep them coming. Hello. You can tell us where you're coming from, where you're joining in from. How are you feeling this Sunday evening? How was the day? How is the weather in your area? Oh, yes. Keep it coming. Amazing. All right. So a big welcome to our panelists. I can see that both of you have joined the call. Coach Mira, good evening to you.
Good evening. Happy to be here.
Same here. How has your day been?
It's been amazing.
All right. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much.
My pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Mr. Debayo, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me?
Good evening. It's absolutely a pleasure to have you here. Good evening.
Same here.
Hope you're
Same
doing
here, yeah.
amazing.
Very well. Very
All
well.
right.
Thanks
Thank
for
you so
asking.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much. It's a privilege to have both of you in-house for this great occasion. And without wasting too much time, I'd like to invite our team lead at Thesis Education Group for his brief opening address before we proceed. Please join me as we may welcome our very own boss man, Adedokun.
Thank you, Eunice. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mira. Good evening, Mr. Adebayo. Thanks for joining us. We do appreciate your time and what you bring. What you bring. What you bring. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead,
Okay,
sir.
good. Thank you so much for joining us, to both our facilitators. Let me also apologize on behalf of our friend, Ms. Yu, who is unable to join in again this evening. Something came up and she's unable to join us. I'm sure we'll be able to have her join in at future editions. Just to say, for me, like I've always said in the past, I see technology as an enabler in whatever we do, and I don't think it's something we need to encourage anyone again to embrace. I think all of us have accepted the fact that it's part of our life, part of our future, and it's important that we take cognizance of how it enables us to fulfill our roles as educators, as fathers, as mothers, as engineers, or in whatever role we find ourselves. And it is significantly important that, especially for educators, that we continually ask ourselves, how do we leverage this to improve learning outcomes? And in that sense, AI also has been part of what everybody is talking about. But for us, we think that the teacher should see AI beyond just what everybody is talking about, but as something we can add to our arsenal of tools to improve on what we do. And so, in seeing what our experience has been with the organizations that we work with, and the educators that we share resources and time with, we discover that it's a conversation we need to have. It's an ongoing one, and we expect that educators don't see AI as something far off, but as something that they can leverage on a regular basis, as something that is part of their day-to-day delivery of the challenging work that they do. And that's why we are having this conversation. So we have two of our esteemed facilitators joining us to share their thoughts on this, and that's why we have said our focus will be on the teacher and our robot and how you can expressly leverage this in what you do on a regular basis. We have a lot to talk about, and like Eunice said, it's a brief welcome. So I encourage all of us to maximize this opportunity. The resources will be online in the next 24 hours for us to listen again and again, even for those who can't catch up. We are broadcasting from Zoom, so a lot of people are joining us on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, but we're on Zoom with our facilitators for obvious reasons. And so even if anybody misses out on this, you can join online and watch a broadcast thereafter. And I think we should also look for an opportunity during the Q&A session to ask questions and expressly leverage the expertise that our facilitators bring on board. These are people who have done a lot around this area and have a lot of experience that they can share with us. So once again, I want to thank you for joining us, everyone for joining, whatever platform you are joining from. And I also want to thank our two facilitators for you're the digital teacher, Mira, and Mr. Adebayo. I've always listened to his broadcast, read about him, and also Mira, but we've not met. And so when the discussion around this event was on the table, I suggested that we contact these people, and my people also accede to the fact that there are people that we should listen to. So thank you for joining. We do appreciate you, and we can catch up at the end of the session. Eunice, back to you.
Right. Thank you very much, Bossman. That was a wonderful welcome. So very quickly, we are going to move to our facilitators, all right? And so, like Bossman has admonished, I enjoin every teacher, every educator who is joining to maximize this brief moment we're going to be spending here. If need be, we will have, a part 2 and all of that if we are unable to actually exhaust our discussions. But for now that we're here, please maximize the period, right? And if you know anybody who is going to benefit from this session, any educator, anyone who is transiting from traditional classroom to online teaching, and you know that they're sitting on this table, do well to nudge them, invite them, and they will not regret it. All right, so very quickly, we're going to be moving to our panelists now. They say ladies first, so I'm going to start with introducing the lady. Our esteemed panelist is Mira Onyinyechi Samuelson. She's an award-winning certified international educator, an EdTech coach, and a thought leader with extensive experience in navigating technology and AI into K-12 education. Recognized among the 10 educators in Nigeria, she has been at the forefront of empowering teachers and students to embrace the transformative potential of artificial intelligence in the classroom. With certifications, including multiple AI certifications from international universities and EdTech platforms, TRCN, UNESCO, MGIEP, etc., Mira bridges pedagogy and technology to create inclusive, adaptive learning environments. As a panelist, speaker, and advocate, she has inspired educators worldwide to leverage AI for personalized learning, automated assessments, and student engagement. Currently, Mira serves as a digital tutor on global online platforms across multiple countries, impacting learners and preparing them for an AI-driven future. She also consults on sustainable EdTech and AI practices, ensuring equitable access and ethical AI integration in education. One of her core missions is to equip educators with the tools and mindsets to thrive in an AI-driven future, fostering innovation while preserving the irreplaceable human connection in teaching. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's give a warm welcome to Mira. Yeah, let's have it in the chat box, a warm welcome. Keep it coming, keep it coming. Mira, say hello to us, please. All right, we'll move quickly to the next panelists. Our very own Adebayo Alomaja is Nigeria's foremost education futurist and a globally recognized senior learning designer, reimagining how Africa learns. As Deputy CEO of Gradely, a pioneering EdTech company with roots in Nigeria and the UK, he crafts intelligent, future-ready learning systems for Africa's next generation. He is the visionary founder of EasyDigi, where he leads an audacious transformation of African classrooms through design thinking, agile education frameworks, and research-driven innovation. His design-first teacher development model empowers educators to become learning architects, creators of experiences, not just conveyors of content. Adebayo is the creator of BioGPT, Africa's first AI chatbox that helps teachers embed design thinking and project-based learning in everyday instruction. He's the host of K-12 2030, a global education summit spotlighting future trends, real-world learning, and innovations in the global education landscape. Named by Crest Africa among the top leaders shaping the continent's future, Adebayo's work sits at the intersection of pedagogy, policy, and possibility. He is a sought-after voice on the global stage, known for blending poetic insights with practical frameworks to help educators across Africa and beyond build schools that are dynamic as the world we live in. When he speaks, expect a spark, a movement. A masterclass is what's possible when education dares to dream forward. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's welcome our very own Adebayo Alomaja.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. Yeah, and of course, looking forward to another sometime. Thanks for having me.
Amazing. Thank you so much. All right. Can someone confirm to me that Coach Mira has joined again? Okay. All right. So while we wait for Coach Mira, I'd like to open the floor with Mr. Adebayo. Please tell us about the teacher and her robots. The floor is yours, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you again.
You're welcome.
Yeah, mic check. Sorry. Let me check that my audio is good enough. Can you hear me? Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, we hear you loud and clear.
All right. All right, great. I mean, when I saw the topic, the teacher and the robots, I was very excited. The fact that we are having this conversation, specifically in Nigeria, in the education landscape. I think this is like the first of its kind that we'll see around, narrowing it down to teacher and not like the and so good. And I believe that while robot in itself speaks to like hardware, um, so robot is like the hardware application of AI. But countries like China, deep more in the Asian region, they are very big on robots, and they are intentionally doing that because of their aging population and many things like that. So for us in Africa, we're a very young continent, right? We have very much a lot of young people. So we may not be tilting towards having a lot of physical robots here and there and things like that. But we are then speaking to like the software side of things, right? The predictive AI, the generative AI, the agentic AI, and the tools in that category, and all of the transformation that brings into the space. For a teacher, I think it's very AI is not just a tool. It's one thing I've been saying, it's a revolution. AI is a revolution. If you don't see AI that way, AI is something you can use to do what you want to do.
I think we lost Adebayo. That could probably be internet or something. Let's give him a couple of seconds. I'm sure he will jump right back in. But basically, was trying to talk about the fact that some countries, they're already talking about physical AI and all of the stuff that we have seen in terms of robots. However, on this platform for today, we are talking about the soft side of things, the generative AI and stuff like that that could help improve what we do as teachers and as educators. As much as we thought we know what's going on presently within our field, the truth is that AI has come not just to enable, but to amplify and to also improve the level of efficiency that comes into what we do. And as such, it's important that we leverage this to improve what we presently do as teachers. Eunice, do we have Mira back on the course?
Yes, sir. She's here.
Please go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much. Picking up from where you stopped, I would like to invite the Digi teacher, Coach Mira. Please take the floor. We're speaking about the teacher and her robots. In the meantime, all educators joining, please remember that if you have any questions, you're free to use the chat box. We will get those questions to our panelists and they will do justice to them. So please, any question that comes to mind, ensure that you put it down on the chat box, and then when the time comes, we'll let the panelists have it. All right, do we have Coach Mira here now? Hello, Coach Mira.
I think we should have Mr. Adebayo continue his thought line since he's back on the call.
All right, Mr. Adebayo, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Amazing.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Quite strange.
It's all
Yeah, but
right.
it's okay. Yeah. So I think I was trying to like just create a very quick foundation on this issue because I'm trying to speak to this issue from where the world stands today, right? So early in the year, the World Economic Forum came with the narrative that this is the intelligent age, and very profound because when they speak, the whole world listens, right? And I think so that brings us to a point where I then said AI is not just a tool, right? We're no longer in the information age, we're now in the intelligent age, right? And the intelligent age comes with a new world of possibilities, comes with a new society, comes with new possibilities, right? And that foundation is very important for the teacher, right? Or else you will find yourself functioning in the information age, right? And when you're talking about AI, you'll basically be talking about things that are just like I was saying recently, right? We talk about low order thinking and high order thinking when it comes to education, the Bloom's taxonomy, right? There can also be like lower order usage and high order usage of AI, so it's very important. AI is a general purpose technology. That's the current perception. It means that what electricity is what AI is to us in this era right now, right? And of course, if you look at other industries, it's powering basically everything they are doing in a very different way, right? So other industries are talking about how AI is helping them to grow their revenue, how they're able to expand their user base and stuff and things like that. And for us in education as well, we need to have that kind of conversation. We need to understand that is where it is and look forward to that kind of possibility when we're talking about AI and what it can do for us, right? So I think that foundation is very important. Right? So AI is not something you use on Monday or something you just use for lesson planning or just for things here and there, right? AI is something you bring into your personal strategy as a professional, right? Because you really want to transform everything you are doing end to end, right? It's not for one thing, right? It's for everything, right? So AI, beginning from my ideation process, right? I am using AI to enrich my ideas, right? Supporting in that regard. up to from that sense, right? From the ideation process behind everything I do, whether I'm trying to create a learning design or stuff and things like that, I'm plugging in there, and I'm doing that intentionally because it just connects me, like I was saying recently, right, with almost the intelligence of the entire human race. So if I'm using ChatGPT, I'm not just using a tool, right? It's a combination of all the humans that have ever lived, both the ones that are dead and the ones that are alive, right? Their wisdom and their intelligence put together, because these tools were trained on the internet way back as 50, 100, 200 years ago, as it ever existed, right? So when I think about what I want to do, right, I am very courageous and I'm very, very bold about, having something so great because of that, that capacity, right? So I will not narrow down what I want to just quickly give me a lesson plan, or quickly give me this, or quickly this. So I really want to do something very big because I understand what I'm working with. It's not just a tool, right? It's a revolution. It's a new level of intelligence that has come to humans, right? And, especially to those in the teaching sector, right? So right now, teachers should be doing like 10x. And when I'm saying 10x, I don't mean in terms of just fundamental in terms of productivity, right? Teachers to be in that zone, right? Because if we compare it to other industries and what they are doing, that's the kind of things we're hearing, right? So I'm just trying to say that AI is a revolution. AI is very powerful, right? It's not just a technological tool. It's beyond that, right? Teachers should think about this as something that affects everything and every aspect of their life, and then putting them in a place where they can do 10x, right? I think I'll just stop it there for now.
All right, thank you very much. We apologize that Coach Mira is still not here. She's having some network issues, but we will have her whenever she's able to join. Oh, okay. Coach Mira.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Good
Okay.
evening.
Good evening. Sorry, it just started raining heavily here, so internet became unstable.
Issue.
I've been coming in and hearing bits and pieces.
All right. That's totally understandable. Welcome, welcome. Now that
Thank
you are
you.
here, yes, we'll let you have the floor. Just give us a brief about the teacher and her robot. Why is this important? Why are we on this matter? Adebayo just said that AI, artificial intelligence is is a revolution, right? So anyone who doesn't get caught by the bug is left behind, and that person is operating in the age of information. That strikes it's very serious bell to me. So
Yeah.
what will you let us hear this evening? The teacher and her robot. All right. So let's go.
All right. Thank you so much, Eunice. Thank you for the beautiful introduction. I think I heard when you were introducing me a bit. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here, Mr. Bosman. Thank you for having me here. So, and also a big thank you to my co-panelist, Mr. Adebayo. I also had one or two things you said, and I'm just going to build on what you said, that AI is not a tool. It is revolution. When we think back at how education has been, from my studies, I've learned that education is structured to serve society. So when we were in the industrial age, there was the kind of education that was taught and the tools that were available to help people fitting into the society. Because at that age, they were taught on how to use equipment, industry age. But now we are now in the artificial intelligence age. And I must say that AI has come to help us also equip teachers on how to serve the educational system, and on how to prepare students for this age. So any teacher that is not in tune with what is happening in the educational system, and not just in the educational system, in the world generally, because the educational system is just a mirror of what is happening in the world and vice versa. So any teacher that is not in tune with what is happening now will be left behind. That is the truth. When I saw the teacher and her robots, I was excited about the topic because, some years ago, teachers, we are the ones using Blackboard to write. We are the ones like sitting around. If you go back way into time, teachers will sit around under the mango tree, teaching students using blackboards, and we moved on to the whiteboards. But today, we are seeing teachers interfacing with AI. I mean, it's a beautiful time to live. It's a beautiful time to be a teacher. So every teacher has to come into that understanding that we have a new dispensation and AI is defining that dispensation. And if you're not in tandem with what is happening, you're still going to be working, you're going to be using an outdated format in a new era. And you're not going to fit in. Soon you'll be fizzled out. So for me, AI in education has come to stay. That's what I want to also make clear. AI has come to stay. I was reading a research recently. The person was analyzing how long it took some innovations to catch up with like 30% of the population. The person said it took the computer, I think 20 years. It took TV 13 years. But it took the chat box, the chat bot, 2.5 years. It took computer 20 years. Even smartphones, it took smartphones 7 years to catch up with the general population. But chatbot is catching up 2.5 years. Just to show us that the speed at which AI is moving, if any teacher is not prepared to align, you're going to be kicked out. So I see AI shaping education in ways that we've not seen before. So I see AI shaping the way we learn, shaping the way teachers teach, shaping where we learn, shaping how we learn. In fact, it's going to affect everything. And most importantly, it's going to shape what we learn. So I see AI transforming education in ways that even we ourselves here, we cannot even foresee it. But if we can come into that awareness that we need to learn, we need to deepen our proficiency in using AI, then we are off to a good start. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. Both of them have re-echoed the same thing over and over and over. We are in the age of AI. And so if you are not catching up, you're left behind and you are obsolete. And that's not a very nice place to be. So thank you very much once again for coming. I will move quickly to our questions. Please, I said, teachers in the house, if you have questions, please put them in the chat box. The questions will get to us and we would give them over to the panelists who would deal with them. But let us proceed. Mr. Adebayo, when we speak about teachers and AI, it's like, okay, I want to use AI. I want to be able to access all the help that AI can afford me as a teacher in my classroom, but I don't even know where to start, right? Is it just ChatGPT? Okay, when I go there, what do I say to it? How do I interact with AI? Where is the starting point? How do I begin to even get familiar? These tools that exist, how do I begin to know them? Right? These are the questions on the minds of many teachers. They want to use AI, but they don't even know how. They don't know the very first thing to do to, start this journey. So please, can you help let us know, where do we start from? How do we even begin this journey with getting familiar with AI, and what tools exist that we can explore that help make our teaching journey a bit more interesting and a bit more challenging?
Yeah. So again, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So thank you for that question. Very important. I think just again, this event that happened in January by the World Economic Forum, one of the sessions, one of the speakers was saying something very profound. They said the investment that has gone into, AI in itself, right, compared to the investments that has gone into helping people to understand what it is, right, that the margin is so wide, right? And that is even true, right? I saw again on Instagram yesterday, the CEO of Microsoft was saying the same thing, that the tool itself is not the issue, but getting people to just change how they work is very problematic, right? Because there's that margin. So it's a global thing everywhere, right? And to bring that to perspective and to offer like a very quick help, I would say that whatever it is you're doing, right? Every job is a combination of tasks, and every task requires a skill, right? I remember reading this report by the CEO of LinkedIn, was trying to explain how it works and what's going on, across the industries, right? Every job is a combination of tasks, right? So if you look at whatever you are doing in that direction, right? So I'm a teacher, right? And of course, again, there are conversations around whether we should still look at teaching as a job or things like that. So look at your job, right? And look at what you do Monday to Friday, right? Because I said earlier that it's a revolution, right? So we want to just sit back and reflect and think about this, right? What do I do Monday to Friday, right? Break it down, right? Break it down into 3 buckets, right? The first bucket includes task that one, AI can do for me, right? Then the second bucket includes tasks that I have to do collaboratively with AI. And the third bucket includes task, right? That is exclusive just to humans, right? I have to do it myself. It's going to require me collaborating with a physical colleague and things like that, right? The whole idea is that the tasks that we do today, and this is not just peculiar to teaching as a job, it's across the whole industry. All of these tasks can be broken down into these 3 categories, right? And so if AI can do it today, why should you be doing it? Now, there are things that we're doing right now. Anything that is routine based, right? AI can easily just take it over, right? And of course, if it requires, a cognitive effort, right? We're seeing AI playing very hard in that region. There's many research to back that up, right? In the cognitive domain, if it requires a lot of cognitive effort, AI can play very well in that domain, right? So it starts by sitting back and saying, okay, because it's about building a strategy for productivity, right? I'm a professional. I want to be very productive, and I'm employing AI as a strategy. And these are the things I do Monday to Friday, right? And out of these things, which ones do I have to put in the first bucket, the second bucket, the third bucket, right? And while you are at that, I'm going to recommend that you take courses from Google and Microsoft, right, on AI. They are free, right? They are very important. There's an issue I've seen in the education sector, and that issue is that when innovations come into the space, there's a way we can reduce the innovation to fit the system. And so our perception of that innovation is not complete, right? Which is why I said, if you want to learn about AI, go and learn on Google, go and learn on Microsoft, first of all. If you have learned about AI from Google and Microsoft, then you understand AI properly, right? And of course, the courses are free. But they're free. You get a digital badge and things like that. You have a proper that proper understanding is very, very important. Before we now come to, let's face the classroom and what we are using AI for in the classroom, right? So I would say that journey is very critical, right? Take those courses, sit down, reflect on what you do Monday to Friday, right? Break it down, right? If you need guidance, if you need mentorship or whatever, you need to, and that's because you are taking up AI as a strategy. You want to be more productive. You want to be able to handle the generation of learners you have today. You want to be able to fit into this system, right? I'll say that those are like very quick practical things to do, right? To just get you started.
All right, thank you so very much, Mr. Adebayo. Thank you. That's very appreciative. The very first point of beginning this journey is a change of mindset, right? You have to train yourself to understand this tool is important to my tasks and I can do without it. You have to rewire your mind before you begin to start actually using these tools. And that's when you can maximize them, right? Thank you. Thank
Absolutely.
you so very much, Mr. Adebayo. All right, so we move to Coach Mira. Can you please give us some practical tools that exist? For example, I want to begin to plan my lessons with AI. Where do I go to? Where do I get help? To whom do I call? Right?
Thank you, Eunice, for that beautiful question. I think my co-panelist, Mr. Adebayo, has already started it off. I think having a comprehensive understanding of what AI is very vital, because I see many teachers rushing to learn this tool, learn that tool. So you're learning AI in pieces and bits. You're just learning it as one, two, one. But it's a connected, it's a web. And if you don't see the big picture, you're just going to be running from one tool to another. And the truth is that more tools will come out. More tools are coming out every single day. which one will you learn and which one will you not learn? So having that mindset, okay, this is what AI is. This is what is the change is bringing to the educational system. This is how it can help me become more productive as a teacher. So it helps you to sit down and now think strategically. What do I need? What don't I need? You know,
That's right.
I was reflecting on AI and how it's being integrated into education. I think one of the things that one of the what will I call it now? One of the mistakes in quotes we are making is that we are too quick to start deploying AI tools into education. I think we are too quick because we have to also think about these tools. How are they affecting the learners? How are they affecting learning outcomes? What are the dangers? What are the limitations? Even the learners, have they been taught on how to use it? Even the teachers, they don't know the ethics of using AI. They don't know how to align it. So some of these things are discussions we should have as a system before we just rush into deploying tools in the educational system. So now there's a lot of things AI can help you do. It can help you facilitate your lesson planning. So want me to give specific tools, right? Okay, so the broad
Yeah, feel free
place,
to name one or two.
okay, the broad place you can find these tools are online. You can find them on the internet. And that's one place. Then the second place I think you should find them is you should join communities, educational communities, communities that are tailored to that are AI focused. There are some people that you can follow on LinkedIn, on social media that usually roll out these things. And I advise you follow people that use them. It's not enough to recommend a tool. Has the person used it? How is it affecting the person's the learning outcome of their students? Or so you can also join communities like that, or you can also go on Google and find some. So I'm just going to name one or two. For facilitating lesson planning, we have AI Teacher, we have Corey AI, ChatGPT. Yes, ChatGPT is like the Oga Bata Bata. But I think we have moved. I'm going to say something. I hope you guys understand me. I think we have moved beyond general purpose AI to educational streamlined AI. And I love it because the way you use AI for business, for other areas of life is not the same way it should be used for education. So I give kudos to a lot of edtech platforms that have come out to build AI that is focused on education. So you have Magic AI, School AI. You know that these AI, these generative AIs, they are specific for education, they are tailored to education. So I'm going to recommend them over ChatGPT because a lot of things is going on in ChatGPT. If you
Yeah.
use ChatGPT, of you understand. So for enhancing your lesson delivery, you can use Nearpod, you can use Edpuzzle. I love Edpuzzle because it helps you pick a video, and if you put it in Edpuzzle, it makes it interactive. Students can stop. It can stop students at different points and ask for their formative assessment to check on their understanding. And I love it because people love visuals. Most learners love visual learners. So that's this tool, you can explore them. Then we have automated assessment. We have Kahoot, we have quizzes. And I use them like
Yeah.
every day on a daily basis. And my
Love.
students can't get enough of it. But another thing I would say here is, as you're using AI, don't use just any tool. Use tools that are age appropriate, use that are aligned to your curriculum, not just any tool, so that you don't harm the learning outcome instead of aiding it. Okay, then AI can also be used for personalized and adaptive learning. That is, what that means is like, as the student is interacting with the AI, the AI is adapting to their learning style, is adapting to their learning progress. If the child or the student is doing more, the AI has a way of bringing more difficult questions. So the AI is adapting to the level of difficulty of the child or the student. If the student is finding it a bit hard, the AI has a way of adapting to, simpler questions. I love it. I love it. Instead of just having the same question for all students. So that is very accommodative. We have IXL, we have chat boxes, and these can really help you. Dreambox is another one you can use. Then AI can also be used for gamification, my favorite. Because I love interactive learning. AI can be used for gamification. I've mentioned quizzes, Kahoot, Word Wall, Bluekit. It increases attention like 100%. I've seen it happen in my classroom a lot of time because my students say, please, can we just, instead of just giving them the questions, they'll ask me, please, can you put it in a Kahoot? That shows that they enjoy it more if it's in that game format, because it's like they're seeing the other students, the leaderboard, they're getting all these thumbs up, and it keeps it interactive and fun, and it doesn't make it monotonous and they get bored out of their brains. So that is another way you can use AI in your classroom for gamification. Then you can also use AI to address equity and accessibility. This is very important because both people that teach online and on-site, especially if you're teaching online, you're teaching a wide range of students with different language. So you have language barrier, you have special needs students. There are tools, AI tools that you can use. We have Microsoft Immersive Reader, where it reads the text for the child and it even puts it in color. For example, special needs children, you can highlight, color code the text, and it helps the child to follow better with the reading. Also, we have Seeing AI. I discovered this one recently. It's for the blind. It actually literally blew my mind. It helps if you have it on your device. If you position it to a text or a picture, it can interpret, it can, in an audio form, it can tell the blind person what is happening or what the question is. So I love it. Then there is also Kami, that there is also ISL. So all these tools, there's also text to speech, Microsoft Translator. So all these are tools teachers can use in their classroom to make sure that learning outcome is optimized. So I think I'll stop here. Thank you.
Guys, thank you so very much. Yeah, that was really rich. And thank you so very much. A lot of tools have been mentioned. Just settle with the one that is most comfortable with you. And like Coach Mira has said, the one that doesn't hamper learning outcomes. Yes, because some tools may be inappropriate, especially for the stage of people that you teach and all of that. So it's very important for you to keep that in mind as you choose tools that aid your job as a teacher. Thank you so very much, Coach Mira. All right, now let us address this other extreme group of people. Okay, so we have this group of people who, okay, we're interested, we don't even know where to start. Okay, we have dealt with those people. Reorientate yourself and start from somewhere. Okay, all right, Adebayo, let me ask my second question, then you add your point and then you continue from there. Is that all right? All right, thank you. So there is this other extreme group of people who we are afraid to embrace AI because we fear that AI will replace us. We fear that AI will come and sweep us out of our jobs and we will be, we'll not have anything to do again. So is it possible that AI will replace us as teachers? Some teachers carry that fear in their heart and they are not embracing AI because they're just scared somewhere that one day we will not be needed in the classroom any longer. You see these intelligent things these people are building, all right? So how do we demystify this and how do we encourage teachers to be open-minded and embrace AI and not be left behind like we have said? Mr. Adebayo, please.
Yeah, very important question. Very important. So again, I mean, in the year 2020, yes, I think in the year 2020, right? Bowen University, so it's in Nigeria. So I don't go too fast. It doesn't look like we're not speaking to context, right? So Bowen University, they laid off I think about 100 workers in the university, and part of the reasons they gave for that layoff was because they now have a technology that can do what these people were doing actually, and so they were like no longer needed. I think that, and of course, speaking from a what is obtainable globally, is the fact that you hear the saying everywhere that AI will not replace you, but it's someone that is using AI that will replace you. And I think that still holds very that's still very, very valid, right? And so I've been saying that teachers have to like rethink their superpower. So if, and I'm going to ask that question again, for teachers, right? Write down 5 things you are doing today that AI cannot do, right? That's your strategy for sustainability, right? 5 things. And when you're writing down those 5 things, be very, very sure. Go all out. Do massive research. Look for confirmations. Ask questions on LinkedIn. Be sure that those 5 things are actually very valid, right? And keep checking the list to see how long those things will stay valid, right? Because right now, if if your superpower is subject mastery, I'm a very good math teacher. I'm a very good there's a chemistry teacher. I'm a very good biology teacher, right? You have been replaced. You just don't know it, right? So we if it's in the domain of subject mastery, right? AI has taken over that sense, right? It may not affect your job right now. In fact, you may still have that job in the next 5 years, but I can bet you that the lifespan of that is the next decade. And the reason for that is because I can say that with boldness because of how AI keeps evolving, right? So in the industry, they say that at least averagely every 6 months, there's a major development that comes out from the AI space. At least every 6 months, something happens that is new. Something happens that like just changes the course of things, right? Averagely every 6 months, right? And what is going to happen again is that you look at the parents of the future, right? And because again, this is basically about the law of demand and supply, right? Um, so from next year, school boards are going to start having a different kind of conversation, right? We're going to have, new parents in PTA meetings. They're going to start asking and saying, sorry, aside from just helping our kids pass this exam, like, what more are you offering our children, right? So we're going to have parents placing that kind of demand on schools, right? I'm seeing it. I just saw a video this afternoon on Instagram. The guy was saying, it's we have a new generation of parents flooding into the system, right? If you have um, uh, 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 most of the parents of the next decade, they are going to be a mix of late Gen Zs and early millennials. They're going to be the parents in the schools by next decade and the likes, right? And these people, because of the level of wokeness, awareness, right, and seeing where the world is, right, they'll be asking, and you can see what has happened with WAEC and JAMB, right? So parents are seeing this and they're like, what is this a system that will prepare my child for the future? They are seeing what's going on, right? So there's going to be pressure. So when there's a need for something more, and the only thing you can deliver is subject mastery, right? What would then happen is that in the value chain, right? How much, how much money, how much budget will be going for those kind of things, right? Will begin to reduce. That's what's going to happen, right? So last month, did I say last month? This month, right? Um, I Microsoft laid off about 6,000 people, right? By the way, including the director of AI in the company, right? So these things are happening and they are sending signals to us that, you might say because you have a job today and you are right, you need to rethink your superpower. If your superpower is just subject mastery, right? At some point, the value on that will begin to, it's already reducing right now and it's beginning to reduce over and over and over time, right? And this is why you want to focus on other areas. So which other skills do you have, right, that are now very valuable, right? So starting from AI literacy is the baseline, right? Is the baseline for the industry student. So can you check how strong you are? That's why I recommended going through those courses by Google and Microsoft, all right? Build your AI literacy skills, right? Very fundamental, right? Look out for other skills. Schools are going to need learning designers, not teachers, right? Something I've been saying. Being a learning designer is more powerful than being a teacher. Being a teacher, you are just, you are just there to just deliver, right? But being a learning designer, you are building. You are going to be able to build learning experiences. You are creating learning experiences. You are just going beyond content that they are giving you. You are building learning experiences, right, that have the potential to create in-demand skills. You understand the process end to end, and you are pitching yourself in that regard. That's more valuable than just being a teacher, right? But transitioning from a teacher to learning designer is very possible because you are in the environment, you understand the context and many things, right? But you want to just rethink what your superpower is. And then one of the few things I wanted to add to what Mira also mentioned, digital twin technology. Of course, one of the frontiers in the world of innovations in the tech space today, the idea that you can create a digital version of yourself, like a virtual version of yourself, right? That can deliver, like I built BioGPT, right? So I remember when I, of course, doing trainings for people, stuff here and there, and thinking about AI as a strategy, I was like, I can't be able to go everywhere. I can't be able to go everywhere. I'm just doing training everywhere. How many places can I go in Africa in a week? I mean, when I tend to have that kind of engagement, it's not possible, right? So I need to have something that can do what I'm doing, right? That can deliver that kind of on Coursera today, you have an AI coach on Coursera, right? So the idea is that there's that thing called digital twin, right? And so you can train an AI. So we're saying the teacher and a robot, right? So if I'm a math teacher, I can actually build an AI today, right? That teaches and again, that listens to that question. What is your superpower? What is your uniqueness, right? What is that thing that makes you very unique? What's your superpower, right? Right. I have my uniqueness. I have my superpower, right? If I teach, if I train, you will see it, right? So I have pulled that in an AI. I have trained and fed an AI with that, such that if you interact with it, the things I would have said is what it will say, and even more, right? Because AI is an amplifier, and even more, right? So if I'm an English teacher or a math teacher and all of that, if you are in the environment, right, and you have seen, like I was working with a school, and then we built some of these bots, for math revision. And every Friday, these kids will sit down with this chatbot just to check what they have learned for the week. It's going to test them and see their level of mastery on that topic, on that area, and things like that before they then like move into the coming week. And so you can think of that kind of approach, as regards. But digital twin is possible. You can like have your own robot, right? Because we also need to think about building, and not just using to store as well. Yeah.
Right. So thank you very much, Mr. Adebayo. That's really profound. We have to start thinking of building. You have to start thinking of building. I think that this is a call for all teachers to, begin to reevaluate where we stand in our profession and how we can do better, because the world is changing and we shouldn't be the last people to change, especially being in the profession of teaching, right? Okay, yeah, so I see your hand, Mira. Please go ahead.
Okay,
You're still muted.
Sorry, I said I want to add to what he said and what you're saying, just to give a practical example. I've had students in my class and I'll ask them, what is something? They don't wait for me to even give them the answer. They'll just Google it. So if I'm bragging that I know what is photosynthesis, it's no longer my power. They can Google it. Do you understand? So you have to go beyond that you know a lot. AI knows much more. Come on. So you have to know to bring that aspect that AI cannot do. And that's another discussion altogether. So I tried something in my class recently because I teach K-12. So both, young children and those that are in secondary. So the boy is always like, why do we go to school? Why are we here? I can Google this thing on my phone and all that. So one day I tried something. I told him to Google, for example, photosynthesis. And he Googled, I asked him what is photosynthesis, he Googled it. I asked him, okay, read it. After reading, I asked him, explain it and use it and answer this question. He couldn't. So I told him that, you see that AI giving you just the information is not enough. So teachers, we need to know our edge. We need to know our advantage. We need to know, like Mr. Adebayo said, how to create a learning design, a learning environment. Create your content in such a way that the way the AI will be giving them, the way they experience it in your classroom or the way they experience it with you, they can't get it anywhere. That is your superpower. That is your advantage. You can't beat AI at what AI is best at. So I just want to add that. So let's evolve and be better. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. That makes me remember collaboration, right? It's impossible for you to want to be perfect and then you want to be solo, just me and myself. These days, you have to collaborate with AI. Otherwise, you get left behind. All right, thank you so very much for that wonderful one. This is a strong reassurance to us teachers. AI is the whole world is embracing AI. And like I said earlier, we shouldn't be the last people to embrace it. The way traditional teaching and learning has been going on is changing as well. And so we should begin to reevaluate ourselves and, embrace this tool with the whole of our hearts. Okay, so moving on quickly, I have a question here. And the person says, they say one day AI will make our brains dull. Please, how true is this? I laughed as well. I laughed as well. So, AI is going to make our brains dull. How true is this? The person is listening for answers. Please go ahead and address this teacher. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Well, I'm going to say yes and no. That's what I'm going to say. Anything that is used too much is bad. There's what we call metacognitive abilities. The ability to sit and think through a problem, the ability to have what we call productive struggle helps you become smarter. But what I see recently, or the trend that we are seeing, just like we saw with social media, we became addicted. This generation became addicted to social media, everything that are carrying their phone. I think what will make us dull is over dependence on AI and the wrong use of AI. So, like you said earlier, if you don't collaborate with AI and make AI do all your thinking, you become dull. So instead of trying to find the solution to a problem by prompting AI, thinking with it, helping it refine your thinking, and you're just asking question and taking it and dumping. You're not interacting with AI. There's what we call brain rot. It's actually a thing, brain rot, where your metacognition level drop because you're just allowing AI do the thinking for you. So I'm going to say that if we over depend on AI, if you relegate your thinking, your work entirely to AI, my dear, you're just going to be feeding AI. You're just going to be improving AI, because for every data you input into AI, it becomes smarter. It rearranges system and gives you a better response. Good. So the goal is not for us to optimize AI. The goal is for AI to optimize us. So it's how do you use AI to optimize your thinking? And that is how to use AI comes in. How do you use AI to optimize your thinking, to optimize your knowledge, to optimize your productivity? So if you don't use it well, yes, it's going to make you dumber, in the sense that you're not going to be doing the critical thinking, the problem solving. There is this, I'm going to cite this research that I saw that was did recently. There were two groups of people, students. There's a control group. They were given textbooks. They were given access to only textbooks, and they were asked to, study. And there's another group, they were given access to ChatGPT, the chatbots, and internet, AI, and all that. So during the practice questions, it was seen that those that were using the AI did better during practice. Do you understand? Let's compare this. But those that had only their textbook, they didn't have access, they did poorer. But during the test, when it's now time for them to test them one-on-one, we've removed everything, now it's test. Those that had the textbooks did better. So it goes back to, how are you using AI? AI is not the problem, it's how you're using AI. So that would be my response. Thank you.
All right. All right, thank you. Thank you so very much. That is well noted, and the teacher has responded. That's well noted. AI, it's garbage in, garbage out, right? Yes, depends on how you use it, then you would get the benefits of it or the disadvantages of it. Thank you so very much. All right, let's move to Mr. Adebayo. What role do you think that schools, institutions, school leaders have to play in ensuring that AI is embraced in our schools? I mean, what role do you think, is it an enforcement rule, or do you think it's a sensitization thing? How do we move from a place of complacency? Because there is this gap, like I started by saying, there is this extreme group of people, there is this other extreme group of people. So what role do we think that the school leaders, administrators, and policy makers have in ensuring that there is proper use of AI among teaching and in the classroom?
Yeah, very, very important question. Very important question. So I think last year, I had an interview with, you know, Tom Rogerson. He's the headmaster of one of the biggest boarding schools in the UK. And then, there was a time that the school was viral on the internet because they employed AI as their head principal. You know, so it was all over on BBC and things like that, right? While he was headmaster, but they had AI like so. This AI thing, um the bot was in charge of strategy, administration, and things like that. So and how that bot was trained was that the best minds, the best ideas, in the area of strategies and stuff like that, that's what it's delivering. So anytime they are doing anything that involves strategy, administration, and things like that, they trust that AI for that function, right? And so he was saying something. He said, you know, school leaders have to approach this thing from a place of knowledge, right? They did a 3-day conference, and then in their school, and then they invited experts across the globe, virtually and on site, right, to come and speak to the school community on the issue of AI, right? And I think that that approach is very, very powerful. It's very powerful, right? So that you are able to really understand what it is, right? Understand its power and the limit, right? And then from that place, from that event, so that event was like a launch pad. From that event, they built their own, um, yeah, strategy as a school, and they just kept on building on things like that, right? And of course, how we should look at it in the schools too is the fact that there's what is called AI governance, right? So in every institution, there's that there's that leadership and that management side of things, right? Starting from governance to say, okay, as a company, as an institution, this is how we're approaching AI. This is our strategy, right? And this is what it means, right? And that's also one of the work that we are doing, that we do at ECG as well, helping schools to craft that kind of policy that guides what goes on in between, the teachers to the learners and stuff in classes like that, right? Students have to have an AI handbook because they need to understand there has to be a policy for their usage as well when it comes. So if you want to bring AI into your system, right? If you are not ready for this thing, don't bring it inside. Because what is happening today, and not just in the education sector, in other sectors as well, is the fact that the employees are jumping on AI first before employers now started trying to, right? So, but the right thing, is to actually, there should be high governance, right? There should be a level of insight that the management of the school has on what is going on with AI. This is how we use AI here, and this is what we use it for, right? Everybody knows across the system. Of course, you will need help. You need to work with experts, and stuff like that to know how to properly craft that kind of policy based on your context, right? But there's need for that high level conversation, that high level, organization to ensure that AI is properly integrated into the system. There are policies that guide the usage and things like that. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so very much, Mr. Adebayo. Yes, that's very key. So if you're a school administrator here, you're a school owner here, this is very important. Okay, so we're moving really fast now. I'd like to ask, yes, I have another question that I'd like to ask. Coach Mira, Please, how can one start using AI in a classroom of public schools where internet facilities are poor or non-existent? So,
It's right. I was listening to a talk recently, and we're talking about AI and the equity. There's a gap actually, and
there
with
is.
everything in life, there are people that have electricity, there are people that don't have electricity. So I think one of the things the world as a global community is trying to do is to bridge the gap. But we are not even done with the bridging the gap of the internet. The internet gap is still there. So, as a teacher that is in a place where there is no internet, Mr. Nobody, I don't know, maybe we can supply internet for the teacher because I don't know what you would do. I think the first thing is because you need internet to work with AI. If you have a device, you can start with your device. I believe that one action can lead to multiple changes. So start with what you can do. If it's your phone, you can show them, because I believe that any child that is not being exposed to AI, internet technology, will be lost in the future, because these guys, this will be their reality. It will be their norm. So if you're not preparing them and helping them see that, then we are doing a disservice to them. So first of all, start with your own, what you can do. Then talk with the school administration. Some persons don't have this discussion. Some of them don't know. Talk with them. Tell them this is what is obtainable. This is the quality of quality education SDG 4 is all about. How can we bring this to the classroom? Then you can go ahead on social media. You have a voice. Talk about it. Post about it. You can never, you will be shocked. An NGO will see your post and bring it to your school. So I believe in doing what you can do to advance that course, starting with your classroom, bringing it into your classroom, one child, small, having that discussion, that conversation, and taking it up to the internet. I usually say the internet is the global village, so you never know who is reading your your post and all that. So these are some of the practical things you can do. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Start from where you are, start with the tools that you have, and in the long run, you never can tell, help will come from somewhere. But do not be complacent and say, since I'm disadvantaged, I'm limited, there is nothing I can do. No, there is something that you can do. Yes, Mr. Adebayo, please.
Yeah, thanks, Mira. Just to add to that, AI is a tutor, right? So, and the reason I'm saying this is because, like I mentioned earlier, right? Whether it's ChatGPT, the generative AI, it's ChatGPT, or Claude, or Grok, or any one of them, you know, what see this way, right? It is the combination of the wisdom and the intelligence of the entire human race that has ever lived in the last 50, 100, 200 years. That's what you're interacting with. Just imagine that I have the opportunity to interact with people that have lived before me, right? Their intelligence, their insights, and things like that. So the first thing is not actually using it to do something, right?
Mm.
The first thing should be about learning from it, right? That's the first thing. And I think it's very important. So if I was in a village and I have just a smartphone that I can at least just connect, if that's all I have, that I can at least just connect to the internet. I think one thing I would want to do, right, is to just even make sure that I am learning, right? That I am learning, right? I saw a professor was a professor, that he actually used ChatGPT to create an entire course. It was public domain, right? For his learners, a full blown course on on AI and things like that. And that was what he actually used to build that course end to end, right? So we should see AI as a tutor, and that puts you in a place where you want to learn, right? So you're not alone, right? By the time I go to ChatGPT or any of these Gen AI tools and I describe this context, and I'm like, I need to, what can I do, right? what are the ideas I can leverage to ensure that the learning itself is engaging and stuff and all of that. You will get a lot of ideas, and it will draw the ideas from similar case studies across the globe, right? There's the Kano school in India. I don't know if you know that school, where they are on a Kano. That's what they are. It's a Kano. The school is a Kano, right? Because the whole area is flooded, and so there are so many case studies like that, and there's so many amazing things that can happen, right? So if you see AI as a tutor, when you go to AI, you will be humble, right? You want to get ideas, you want to learn more, right? So there's practically nothing you want to learn how to do today that you can learn, no matter how technical it looks like, right? I shared my story lately of how I built a front end I didn't know anything about it using AI, right? I went to it as a tutor, taught me how to build the front end from the beginning to the end. I went through the process and it's complete, right? So let's see her as a tutor. We learned so much from it.
All right. All right. Yes, thank you very much, sir. Let's see AI as a tutor, as a learning ground, and then we can harness all the benefits that come from it. Yes, I see your hand, Coach Mera.
Okay, just to add to what he said, I think another thing you can do is to start exposing the children to AI. You know, one thing I believe is even if you've not seen something, but you've learned about it, you know about it. When you see that thing, you're not a novice. So start telling the children there's something called AI. This is how it's, ideas are just coming to my head because I'm just imagining myself in that village school. I'm going to be drawing out AI bots for you guys on the board. Seriously, I'm going to be drawing out, okay, this is called, this is the figure of AI. I'm going to be drawing it out and I'll say, okay, this is called a prompt. If you write AI, what is AI? I'm going to practicalizing it for you people. Do you understand? So these are things you can do without breaking the bank. So let them learn about it. Let them do projects about it. Let them learn. Expose them to it. And soon enough, when they go out to the world and they see the real thing, they will thank you for that base information you give them. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Unfortunately, we can't take any more questions. We have had a lot that we need to even sit down and reflect on Key takeaways from you from this webinar today, it's been mind-blowing, and it all starts from a place of your mindset. First of all, you are not supposed to just approach AI with the intention of doing. First of all, understand what this tool is about, right? And then from there, you can move to interacting with it. Then you have the knowledge on how to interact with it so that you're actually having intelligent conversations with AI and not dumping your workload on AI, expecting it to think on your behalf, right? This is a very powerful aspect of using AI, especially in the teaching profession where our cognitive mind comes to play at all times, right? So thank you very much. I would appreciate Bossman to say thank you to our panelists before we move forward. Thank you. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Eunice. Thank you very much. Let me first of all, for me, I've been writing and a couple of things struck me when our panelists were talking. Okay, so Mira talked about something which like a catchphrase, and I picked it up. She said, let's evolve and be better. Let's evolve and be better. The truth is, things have changed beyond what we recognize it to be. And because our educational system is not catching up with that level of change, we think or we have this opinion that things are still the same. It has moved beyond that. Today we are talking about teachers. We've not even talked about the leaders of the system and how automation is changing the game when it comes to school administration and management across the world. You understand? 2 years ago, I was privileged to volunteer on the board of a school in the UK, and it's a public school. And so I was thinking, okay, what I will get, yes, I know it will be far much more than what we have in Nigeria. But I discovered that there are private schools that we work with, grade A schools, who are not operating at the level their board is operating. And how that trickles down to the classroom, it's unimaginable. And so if our private schools or independent schools are operating at this level, then our public schools are at this level. We have a long way to go. 3 years ago, I said something when we hosted iLearn. With all credit to my friend John Thord, there's Charterhouse Lagos in Lekki, Ogombo. Rugby school opened somewhere. The advent of big brand schools across the world into our market won't stop. And that also brings with it changes in the way things are done, operations, management, teaching, and all of that. And so all of us in the system house, we have to up our game. We have to evolve. We have to leave the old and embrace the new. And this just goes beyond just changing names or changing outfits or whatever. We have to find a better way of using the tools that are available to us to get the best of what we want to give to the children, improve learning outcomes, and let everybody see that we are not just preparing these children for today or just for tomorrow, but for the future, 10, 15, 20 years down the line. We all talk about our leaders, and we talked about the fact that they are reasoning in the past, they can take us into the future and all of that. But the truth is we have practices in our classrooms that points to the fact that we are still operating in the past. And that cannot hold water. These children, just like Mira said, imagine, what is photosynthesis? Before you start reeling it down on the body, the guy has searched his phone and is telling you what you do. So what else are you bringing to the table? Then, and I'll go to that point that Adebayo mentioned, and it is the fact that we should rethink our superpower. And Mira also echoed this. The truth is, whatever we do in the 21st century, our uniqueness had to be found in it, or else there are 1,001 people that can do it. 1,001. They will do it big time. So something shocked me, I think it was in 2022 or 2023, I can't remember specifically. I registered for a startup academy in the UK. And I was meant to do, on demo day, I was meant to do a pitch deck and all of that. But a few days before it, maybe I lost, maybe virus or something happened. And so what I've been working on, I couldn't find it. So, and I had a presentation the following day. So I said, this AI thing, I'm sure there should be something somewhere that could help me put something together in a couple of minutes. So overnight, I searched for a particular platform, and I got one. And in less than 24 hours, I had a pitch deck ready, and I used it the following day. Yes, I paid for it, yeah, but it was far much revealing that there were even areas I had not thought of in the pitch deck originally that this AI thing introduced me to. I was shocked. So the truth is, we have to up our game. We have to build our AI skills. We've not even talked about prompt engineering at all. We've not gone there at all. How do you feed this AI thing to give you what you want or get what you need and all of that? It's interesting, and the encouragement is that we keep learning, we keep improving. Two of our facilitators have talked about building our AI skills, registering for one course or the other online, Google, Microsoft, and all of that. We need that basis so that we don't just, again, limit the power of the effect of AI in what we do. And it's also important that we evolve from just being teachers. There is a quote that aligns with what they both talked about, and it's the fact that learning is an experience. Every other thing is just information. We have to be better learning designers. We have to shape better learning experience for the children we work with. And if learning AI and using it as part of our superpower or improving what we have will be part of that, then it's important that we bring this to the fore. We can't show up just like teachers used to show up, just like the teachers that we know, copy notes, we have text to share with them and all of that. How do we shape better learning experience for the children? You understand? How do we ensure that this is not just another session of dishing out information to them, but ensuring that they go through an experience that wow them? I'll end with this. This was something around 2010, 2011, as far back as then. Then I used to teach entrepreneurship to secondary school students in Lagos. And so there's a particular school we work with, and I used to go there maybe a couple of days in a month, right after school. So this day I got to school, and majority of the SS1 boys have got to play basketball. They were not in class. And I was wondering what's happening. So they chose the basketball before beyond the entrepreneurship class, and I was surprised. So, but that's life. So I announced in that class that our next class will not be in the classroom, but we are visiting Konga in those days. And so we had an appointment with Konga, and we took all of them, even those who were not part of the entrepreneurship class, we took them for the Koyenge experience. It was like a 3-hour experience in the office somewhere around Apapa Oshodi Expressway, huge warehouse. They took us through the process of where they receive orders, where they push out orders, and all of that. At the end of that day, all the boys were telling me, so when next in our class and all that, I said, we're not coming to Konga. Then they said, yes, I didn't know, but at least they want to be part of the class and all of that. That was the last time they missed the class for anything. So even before the class, they will talk to their teachers, no, we can't do basketball, we can't do this time. This time is for this and all of that. I have one of them who has finished a master's program in the UK in international business based on that experience. You understand? Simple thing changed it, that visit to Konga. The experience was different from what they were used to. It's probably the first time they are going on an excursion, a visit that aligns with day-to-day life or things that aligns with their future and all of that. They're not just visiting a lake or visiting a zoo or something. They're visiting a real life experience and all of that. I want to believe that if I follow up with the guy, I want to believe he's probably in e-commerce or something now. That's what shaped their experience. It's important that we take this as responsibilities as leaders within our class space to improve the learning experience of the children that we work with. They are not my point, they are the points from our panelists, and I'm just trying to reiterate this. But my own point is that all of us have to raise our game, all of us in the sector. The changes happening in banking and finance, engineering, and several other sectors in Nigeria, if you compare the rate with what is happening in the education sector, we are very, very conservative, very, very. We need to raise our game. On that note, I want to say thank you to Mira for joining us. I appreciate it. Thank you for what you are doing. Thank you for the experience you bring on board this webinar. Thank you for what you have shared with us. Thank you for the great things you are doing in your classroom for the children that you work with. We salute you and we appreciate you. We've worked with teachers for over 10 years, and so we know how much people do to make the sector what it is. Thank you so much for your time. And to my friend and brother, Adebayo Alomaja, I love the name. So every time you put anything out on LinkedIn, I'll go and wait and I'll listen to it and I'll read it. He has found that niche and it's his superpower. So there are probably 2 or 3 people, we are talking about GPT, AI, that come to my mind. Himself, Olalekan Adeeko, there are 2, the first 2. Olalekan would have been on the call, but he has another engagement and all of that. Thank you so much for not just finding your superpower, but for improving it and doing much more to understand and deepening the knowledge for us. Very important. The work that people like you do help us to, in the future, fly. Because if some of us had to go back and do some of the research and the work you have done, we would not be where we are today. But we've done a lot. You've done research. You've curated knowledge to the point that people can leverage on what you have done and use that to shoot into the future. Thank you very much for your time. We do appreciate, and our team, we don't take this for granted. We know you, out of your time, busy schedule, make time to be part of this. I will look forward to more in the future. I don't know if we'll do part 2 for now, but I know there is a lot that we've not talked about. This is like an appetizer, you understand, but we need to carry the message across and forward and encourage people within the sector to continue with the conversation, to say we have to do much more than we are doing and we have to raise our game. Thank you everyone for joining. We appreciate you. Eunice, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Yes, massive appreciation to all of you. We say thank you, Mr. Adebayo. We say thank you to Coach Mira. Everyone is free to, contact them. Coach Mira is on LinkedIn. Adebayo Alomaja is also on LinkedIn. Any questions after reflections from this class, and you still have questions, please feel free to reach out to them and get clarity in any area where you are having concerns or you need clarification. Again, whether we'll have part 2 or not is all dependent, and we'll get to it. Of course, we'll let everyone know if that's going to be the game. So thank you, everyone. Educators gathered, thank you. I read through your feedbacks. I can see, yes, a lot of you have learned a lot. I can see that from the feedbacks you're sharing, and I totally appreciate you. The time we invested in this, we hope that it shows in our professional practice, and we'll be very grateful for that. Okay, so just before I let everyone go, there is something that Thesis Education Group is cooking up again in honor of teachers to celebrate the World Teachers Day coming in October. We call it the 100 Masters, okay? And so we are celebrating 100 school owners, educators, social enterprise that are education focused and all of that. Basically, we're just wanting to celebrate 100 schools, teachers, educators, school owners, administrators, and all of that. And we'd like you to be a part of it, all right? So arrangements are being made so that nominations will begin any moment from now. Be on the lookout on our social media pages so that when that information drops, you will be able to nominate. You could nominate yourself as an educator or nominate an educator who you think that their story needs to be heard. At the end of it, we want to celebrate 100 school leaders, educators, schools, and all of that. Come World Teachers Day, October this year. Feel free to engage with us on social media. This has come to stay. This is our Learning Lab series, and this is our kickoff, and we appreciate everyone who joined. Please continue to look out for information for more and more. On that note, I'd like to say thank you, everyone, for being part of this. Till we meet again, thank you, and have a good evening. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Coach Mira. Thank you.